Hey, good afternoon, beautiful people. This is Eugénie here. I'm a joy and fulfillment life coach. I am here, and my mission, purely and simply, is to make sure that people experience joy and feel fulfilled in their day to day lives. Offer some tips and strategies. I am an educator by trade. I taught high school and university for almost 30 years. I experienced a professional burnout 6 years ago, and now I'm a life coach and certified, and accredited with a school that is accepted by the International Coaching Federation. All that to say that today is for teachers specifically in my empowered group, and I have created this presentation for you so that you can experience just a great year, you guys. And today I'd really like to focus on maybe a little bit of a mind shift. I spent the whole week at school so far. Starting even last Friday, I was on a personal leave for 14 months, I guess, if you include both summers. And so I went back to school on Friday because I didn't know what I was teaching. And then I've just, had to get my computer. I didn't know where I was teaching, so now I know, setting up my classroom, reconnecting with my colleagues, with the secretaries, with my principal. It's nice to be back, right? And it's also strange because I've been away from it for 14 months. And so I see things, I guess you could say, with two perspectives. The perspective almost of an outsider, because I haven't been in it. And secondly, from the perspective, more importantly, of a wellness and mindset life coach. So, yeah, so this is what this is about today. And there's just so many funny things that are happening right now in schools. But the most important one is teachers are happy. They're going back to school. They're cranking up the gears. You guys are lining up your first week activities. Icebreakers, getting to know your students, because obviously getting to know your people is so important. And intuitively, so many teachers know this, that if we don't have that human connection with them, nothing's going to happen. Which is so cool because I'm also from France originally. And let me tell you, in other countries of the world, teachers and students don't feel like this is a necessity at all. And so it is a very different environment. I much prefer teaching in Canada, and as a student much preferred my Canadian teachers. It was very terrifying to be a student in France, just saying. So yeah, today is Joy and Health Kit for back to school. Tips for joy, your health, and feeling fulfilled at work and outside of your work as well, right? So it's a short presentation. You're welcome to leave messages. I will have a free resource at the end of this presentation as well. And here we go. So my name is Eugénie Ducatel. Here I am, beautiful picture taken from this summer. Same t-shirt. How cool is this? And I am a joy and fulfillment life coach, building my business. I have clients, 29 years in education, one professional burnout, certified wellness coach. I am a speaker. I was a wellness lead at the University of French Ontario, where I presented 8 classes with the different influencers that influence people's energy and mindset and how they can perform throughout the day. And this was for teacher candidates. I am also obviously coaching one-on-one. I have hundreds of hours of coaching experience, incredible success for my clients. I'm very proud of them. I present workshops, I present programs, and of course, I really, really just want people to be happy and healthy and live their lives. So I offer a lot of free resources on my YouTube channel, in my weekly email. If you want to join me, just let me know. I would love to have you with my community because you are worth being healthy and happy, my beautiful friend. I'm on Instagram where I share my happy moments and my tidbits of information to keep you healthy as well. Facebook Lives, and of course LinkedIn. So I'm going to start with something really obvious, but sometimes not, especially if you are in school right now. Self-care is productive. So basically, my mission is to empower educators to reclaim their lives, rekindle their passion at work and outside of work so you can do what matters most. I have news that'll be coming in this group, but for now, I'm going to focus solely on teachers for this because self-care for teachers is usually at the bottom of the list of priorities. There's so many things going on in schools right now, so many details, so many added things. And the one thing that we were talking about today was artificial intelligence and how it is rampant. Kids are using Google Translate. I teach in a francophone school. A lot of the students don't love speaking French, don't speak it very well, so they resort to AI to do their assignments for them. So they will put the whole text in English, Google translate it into French, or just use Chat GPT in French. And so basically now it's just it's an added hurdle for a teacher because we have to go look into it, we have to research it, and it's just one of those things that are part of the education system. So do we go back to pen and paper? I'm almost thinking maybe that's the way to go. But anyways, so yeah, 5 most important tips for today, you guys, is facing the truth about the school system. Yes, I think if we can face that and breathe around it and accept it for what it is, you'll be able to live with this radical mind shift and you will give yourself permission to take care of yourself. So, rewriting beliefs, your inner blocks, finding your dream team, how to share the information that already exists. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Someone out there has what you're about to teach. Even if it's on Teachers Pay Teachers, ChatGPT can help you create lessons. There's free resources, paid resources. There's colleagues with Google Drives. All they have to do is press that one little button and they can share everything they've done. Number 2, I'm going to talk about health days and the I can't afford to take a day off, which I've had already this conversation today at school with one of my beautiful colleagues who is a phys ed teacher and a coach. Hello! Then we're going to talk about the mind, biology, and how you can optimize your mind and your body so that you can stay healthy and happy. We're going to talk about strong boundaries, and finally, how to set up a routine in your classroom, which you already know how to do, but just maybe a brush up on that. So facing the truth, people, I'm going to say something for you, especially because I've spent 14 months away from schools, especially because I have experienced professional burnout. The thing is, schools are not designed with your mental and physical health in mind. If anything, they're designed to burn you out. The way it's set up, where you have 3 classes, this is for high school teachers, where you have hallway supervision, where you have day-long sprints, classroom discipline, grade inflation, multiple students with varied needs, and also very few special ed teachers. There's not enough of these beautiful people. You have to always flex your boundaries, which is so energy draining. You've got to do emails, you've got to report to your principals, you have to communicate with your colleagues, you have to email the parents. There's honestly, dealing with the, oh, well, you get your summer off philosophy, which is so much gaslighting. Let's say it, it's gaslighting. These people don't know what we go through. So let them say we get the summers off. I mean, I've been in school for a week already. So releasing that. There's not a single day off for teachers in Ontario, except Thanksgiving between September and December. I'm going to touch on that pretty soon as well because there's so many things going on. Artificial intelligence is another one now. So there you go. So what I'm trying to say is when you're exhausted at the end of the day and it's 8 p.m. and your brain is like the size of a raisin, it is normal. Let me repeat that. It is normal that you are exhausted because the school day is not sustainable. So there you have it. So give yourself permission to take care of yourself, people, because no one is going to take care of you. Nobody took care of me, that's for sure, and I burnt out. And I abandoned my students that I was working so hard for. So there you have it, right? So watch out for your limiting beliefs. I should be able to, and ask yourself if this is true, right? So the shoulds is this voice that tells you that you want to be able to do more, that you want to be able to perform more. But is it true? So, for example, I should be able to do the whole day. I should be able to complete my entire list. But is it true? No. The truth is you're going to have about 10 interruptions. You're going to be supervising hallways, and all of a sudden you're going to have to deal with some kind of an altercation with students, especially in high school. Now you have to go fill out a report, and now you're late for your own class, and now you're frazzled in your mind, And so all these just, it's like a domino effect that will impact your energy and all the beautiful love that you have for your job, for your students, for your colleagues, for school, your community. It's difficult to maintain that kind of energy. So the should is going to go out the window. I should be able to finish the curriculum. Um, yeah. Well, we had a pandemic. A lot of kids fell behind. So that's going to be difficult. You can aim, use it as a guiding light, see if you can cover some of it. I should be able to do things on my own and never ask for help, right? So just really explore those limiting beliefs. Those limiting beliefs is I should be able to support all my students with their success. If you are thinking that right now, that you are responsible for all of your students' success and therefore failures, definitely talk to a therapist right now. Talk to someone at school right now. Because if that is how you're going into your school year, it's going to be long and difficult and completely unfair. Because you can do your part of the job and you can be there for your student, but you're in no shape or form responsible. That is too much to carry. Another one is I can't take a day off or I will fall behind and I will not be able to finish the curriculum. So, like I said, the curriculum is one thing. It's almost impossible to teach an entire curriculum. You're a teacher, you've seen it, it's hundreds of pages long. There's no way you can cover it all. So you can't afford to take the day off is something that you can plan for. And I will talk about this shortly. You can plan for easy days. You can plan for those special days where you're going to go see your doctor or your therapist or get your massage. Limiting belief around I can't ask for help or I will look incompetent. So the should here would be I should be able to handle this on my own. Well, it takes a team, it takes a community, it takes a school, it takes the parents' support, it takes the administrative support. You yourself on your own are just one person, and definitely ask for help if you feel you need it. Well, don't suffer in silence. Nobody does it on their own. I should be able to handle all the classroom discipline. If I send the kids to the office, they're going to think I'm incompetent. Yeah, well, sometimes those kids need to go to the office. It doesn't mean we don't care about them. They obviously have something going on. But if you can't do your work in that particular context, then all the other students are not learning. So you definitely can send people to the office. Make sure that someone there has their back, your back. Make sure they don't send them back because that is just such a lack of disrespect, so that you absolutely can send people to the office. So it's the I should be able to is the judgment that you place upon yourself that you should be more. And it is a very draining energy level. It's heavily laden with judgment. It will drain your energy on top of the issue that you are dealing with right now. And trust me, you're doing the best you can. You're adding the judgment that you should be doing more. So think of it as when you say should, you're draining your energy. You're puncturing the tires in your own wheels, right? It also comes from a need to prove yourself, which is normal. And this is an inner block. Proving yourself, proving you're worthy, proving you need to be recognized as a great teacher. This is all stuff that you need to really be aware of as you go through your day, as you go through your minutes, as you go through your year. Build a dream team. Like I said, no one does it alone. And just today, I was talking to multiple teachers, but two of whom I'm going to be teaching with, and I've taught with them before. And I'm smiling because my one colleague, who is much younger than me, she's about 15 years younger than me, when she arrived 5-6 years ago, 8 years, I can't remember, I gave her all my work. It was grade 10 French. She just landed. I'm like, you can have all my work. We're talking 10 years of teaching. And I just shared it in Google and shared with Word docs and everything else. And today, after me coming back from my sabbatical, she's like, look, I'm using all your things. She's just kind of updated some of them. And so she's sharing them right back to me. And I just think it's fantastic. So share the love, build your dream team, build people who will build you up as well, because nobody does it alone. So my dream team is also going to be the people who will support me when I have to take a day off. So I know who has spares so that they can go into my classroom and deal with things if there's technological issues. So your dream team is the people that you need to have around you. And your dream team can be colleagues, it can be secretaries, definitely secretaries, it can absolutely be the librarians, it can be your custodians, it can be the cultural and animation team from the school. It's all of those people will support you. It can even be your students. It can even be your parents. Yes, indeed. Okay, so I'm a superpower team kind of guy, but there it is, right? This is my dream team. I've got Diane and I have Danitza, and that was for our grade 11 and grade 12 English that we worked together. So one of the ways, and I'm going to give you all my blessings. This is coming from a person who has a bachelor's of education, a master's in French studies, almost 30 years in the school system, a certified life coaching school under my belt as a wellness coach, someone who has experienced a professional burnout. So I'm going to say this straight up because I had this conversation already 4 times today at school. Take health days. And people were like, health days? And they just looked at me and said, so how do you put that in the excuses to be sick? I say it's a sickness without an explanation. But instead of being sick, I'm being preventative, sorry. So I will go see my doctor, like I said, get a massage, make sure my medication, whatever, everything is all set up, right? Because you are basically preventing sickness. Let me repeat that. You're having a health day, so you are preventing your sickness. And nobody is going to give you that permission because the school is set up so that you only click on that damn button when you're so sick that you can't even go to school, and now you're going to spend 3 hours trying to set up your class for a person at school. This is not sustainable, people. Use your health days. Consider them like, gift cards. Gift cards to promote your health. And you're not just doing this for yourself because it's going to promote your mental health. You're going to be in a good mood. You're going to pop out of the school for a little bit. You're going to talk to a therapist if you need to, because we need to. Teaching is it's busy. It's a little bit demanding, to say the least. So you're going to need to talk to someone every once in a while and have strategies to take care of your mental health, right? So prepare for the I can't afford to take the day off, because it's going to happen, you guys. You will take a day off. But now you get to choose. You take it when you're healthy so that you can rejuvenate and come back to school the next day or on the Monday and feel like you just want to be with your students. Because the truth is you'll probably end up working a little bit on your health day. But it just means that the Saturday, Sunday, you might not be working, right? So this is a picture of my matrix. The gas tank is on 0. The little orange light is on. And this is just a silly analogy, but it's a very powerful one for myself. Yes, by the way, my car does not get much mileage, but do you only go to get your oil change or fill up the gas? In this case, it's filling up the gas. Do you only, fill up? I guess it would be more the oil change analogy. The oil change is better because obviously you can just fill up the tank. Taking a health day is the equivalent of getting your oil changed before the motor burns. Let me repeat that. Taking a health day is like getting an oil change. You do it before the motor burns, and then it costs you thousands of dollars, right? Because then, or maybe it's a car write-off. So that's how I see it. It's preventative. I'm sure I'm saying this and people are feeling guilty, and they're like, oh no, it's like, I can't because I'm not actually sick. Because teachers are such straight people. One of their strongest values is honesty and respect for the system. So I'm not saying this is cheating the system. I'm saying this is playing with the system. This is putting the chances on your side so that you can be healthy throughout the year. It's your safety net, right? So there she is. Your safety net is taking those health days. If you don't have those health days, if you get sick, there's no net. And then it's difficult. We've been there. We've all been there. I know we have. So use your benefits, people. Teachers in Ontario. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention about health days. I'm going to have to go back. The thing about health days is that... Oh, no, I'm going to get to it in a second. So, use your benefits. We have massage therapy, We have therapy, period, for our mental health. We have orthopedic insoles for our feet. We have acupuncture, naturopathy. These people will help you with regulating your hormones and what kind of supplements to take so that you can lower your stress levels. We're so busy that we don't use our benefits. So that's kind of a bit of an ironic thing, because we have all the benefits in the world, but we don't use them because we're too busy. Isn't that interesting? So use your benefits on your health days or otherwise. You don't have to take a benefit day every day, but once a month is definitely not going to injure anyone, and it's going to do you good. Thou shalt not ever feel guilty for taking a day off, especially a health day. In case you need permission to give yourself days off, I'm going to give you a little bit of perspective. Ready? And this is it. In Ontario, there is 1 day off for teachers until Christmas. 1 day off, and that's Thanksgiving. You're a teacher, so you know that you go home, you're thinking about school. Weekends are probably going to be in part, I'm not saying all of the Saturday, all of the Sunday, although if you're a first-year teacher, you're going to be doing just that. So school is going to basically take over your life, and you're going to be working from September 3rd, in our case this year, till the last day of school in December. So perspective here is that in Alberta, they have a fall break. Yep, I think it's November the 15th, around then. They have 4 days. And in March, they have a 2-week March break. In Ontario, we get 1. It is true that in Alberta, they started a week before we did. The kids are already in school, the teachers are already teaching. But still, they have this break. In universities, in 2017, they introduced and implemented the fall reading break. Before, they had one in February of the spring or the winter term. But they included it, they added it, because it was important for the students' mental and physical health to catch up with their work, and be with family. Yeah. And so, and in Europe, I mean, don't get me started on Europe. In France, they take 2 weeks off every 6 weeks of teaching. In the UK, it's 1 week. It depends where you are. But one thing is consistent between the beginning of school and December, everyone gets a week off, but not in Ontario. So if you're ever feeling guilty about this, I just want you to remember that. That's just a fact. You do what you want with it, but I run by that. So plan for easy days in your long-term planning. Don't super book yourself. And I'm really proud of my colleagues today because they're giving themselves space in their long-term planning for easy time. So if kids are working on their essays and they're working on their drafts, then they can just be there and they can do some work in the class. If you have easy days, it also means that you can take those famous health days off, right? So movies with important themes, the movies to the novels that you're studying, there's short films. I'm a language teacher, so a lot of my references are definitely around themes, characters, stories, information, and so on and so forth, right? YouTube has got an infinite resources about everything. Podcasts, if they're doing research on a project, you don't need to be there. They can read the news. Yes, they can. They can do review sheets so that you can go over them together in class. Because, of course, the idea of an easy day is to make sure there's no extra work for you to do when you get back. Right? Easy days. So make sure those happen regularly. They're healthy for you. They're going to be healthy for your students because they can't sustain a really, really demanding rhythm without breaks either. That's just not sustainable for anybody. And the winner is for the person who works all the time. I have a cute one for you. Who's exhausted, who's not sleeping, who's sacrificed his wife, his children, is divorced, and has now stage 4 diabetes. I thought I would share that with you. Nobody gets a gold star for suffering. Nobody. But interestingly enough, in schools, there's a bit of a toxic, I'm going to call it toxic way of looking at sick days and health days. Teachers amongst themselves are going to judge each other and say, oh, she's just taken another day off. She should be able to manage. And there's that judgment, right? Everyone has their own threshold level for stress. I think the most interesting case I've ever heard is a first year teacher who took every Friday off. You'll notice that I'm using the quotation marks because I can guarantee you that this person was not at home picking her nose and watching Netflix. She was planning, she was prepping, and she was probably working the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday as well. But she found that the only way to survive her day and her week as a first year teacher was to take that day off. So, release the judgment around that. Biology 101, in case you forgot, you have a body, you have a mind. So practice wellness, people. Don't sacrifice your health ever for school, for your students. Yeah. So I highly recommend mindfulness practice. It is proven. Harvard researches every book I've ever read, and I've experienced it myself because I do meditate in the morning. Before you start running like a crazy person, because you know it's like the 100-meter sprint if you watch the Olympics, except it's the whole day like that. So before your day starts and hijacks you, give yourself that 5 minutes of breathing and watching your breath. Very slow, deep breathing and giving yourself an intention. I have a free resource about gratitude journaling as well that I can offer you at the end of this. I have free YouTube videos that you can click on in my channel for meditation. So go right ahead and do that. Exercise. Do not sacrifice your exercise. Even if it's just 20 minutes, half an hour, 3-4 times a week, I recommend every day because half an hour every day is not going to change anything. Because there's always going to be work. You can guarantee there's always going to be work. But work will seem less stressful, less overwhelming, less dramatic, less, oh my God, it's the end of the world, I'll never be able to make it, if you exercise. Because you're going to pump oxygen in your brain and the endorphins will flow in your system and you will just be healthier. Eat. Just today, I was having lunch in the lunchroom and people are like, oh yeah, I got to eat. Oh my gosh, I forgot to eat. Don't forget to eat. Eat. You need to eat. So bring healthy snacks. It's busy. You know, you might not have time to eat like really elaborate lunches, but you can certainly boil some hard-boiled eggs, bring some hummus, apples, granola bars, like things that will sustain you definitely, right? Ideally, you sit down for half an hour to eat your lunch. A lot of teachers eat in their classrooms. If this makes you happy, do it. If it makes you feel angry, don't do it. Just, you judge how you feel. Coffee is a huge stimulant that teachers indulge in every day, multiple times a day. It is recommended that you do not drink coffee past noon. There's an 8-hour shelf life for caffeine, so you'll have a hard time falling asleep. So you'll be exhausted around 8 or 9 p.m. and you might not be able to fall asleep. So that would kind of be sad. The same thing goes for alcohol. And I know teachers love their alcohol as well. I've had some teacher colleagues that would drink wine, half a bottle of wine every night. So obviously if you're at that point during the school year, definitely take health days off. Definitely talk to somebody. Don't sacrifice your sleep. You need it, right? So go for it and enjoy your sleep. Don't forget to connect with your important people. I've known of families who get divorced because teachers don't have time to be with their spouses. Relationships with their children go down the tube because they don't have time to invest in their relationships with their family and with their friends. You need to connect with your people. They're important. And then finally, people, have fun. This is good for your mental health, for yourself, and also it's going to be good for your students. And outside of school, have fun outside of school. Sign something up that you actually pay money for because there's a more likelihood that you will actually go and go do it. And at school, this you already know, but create a safe, predictable environment in your classroom, right? It's usually a good idea with my coaching background as a core energy coach. You really want to go for the win-win. You want people to want to. Of course, sometimes it's impossible. You have to make them do it. But at the beginning of the school year, you can set up this agreement with your students. And then, yes, you'll have to put your foot down and make sure that the boundaries are respected. But you can definitely build your ideal classroom. You can definitely go for the win-win. Don't spend 20 million hours decorating your class. That's not necessarily necessary, especially if you're not exercising and sleeping. Let's not forget what is important, right? And then okay, number 4 in my tips today is strong boundaries. So strong boundaries with your emails. Don't check your work emails on the weekends, especially when they come from parents. That is a high anxiety thing to do. You wouldn't open the door to some person yelling at you and pounding on the door, so don't open those emails. With students, clear boundaries and follow through with your consequences because everyone is watching. That student who's pushing your buttons, he's trying to see because he or she or they need to know where you stand and they feel safety around predictability. So especially first year teachers, it's very difficult to put your foot down because you want to be liked and you don't want to be mean. You're not being mean. You're actually being very helpful. You're showing them your boundaries so that they can feel safe. And then the other kids are watching too. So they're like, oh, let's see what she's going to do. What she's going to do is she's going to put her foot down and have the consequences that you built together, and you're going to make them happen. With parents, communicating with them well and positively and not delaying, and not sending 3-page emails. If you find that your email is getting really long, it shouldn't be more than 3-4 lines. If it's going to be longer than that, then it's because something needs to happen and a conversation needs to happen. And parents actually like talking to us because then you're human and it's just so much more personable to talk to a parent, right? And finally, again, going back to raising the energy levels into full engagement, create the win-wins in class. So give them lots of choices. Give them fun options. Give them group class rewards if there's such a thing. Maybe they can pick their reward. Positive reinforcement. You can have guests from the community who are going to come and talk in your class. Field trips are great. Yes, there are a lot of work to prepare. This is true. But at the same time, nothing gels a class like a field trip, right? So here we go, my dear friends. We've covered 5 tips today, and the biggest one being rewriting, editing the whole notion of a sick day and transforming it into a health day, giving you some perspective around the fact that people in other countries, even in our own country in Canada, have more holiday than we do here in Ontario. So let's just keep that in mind. I am on a mission to make sure you are healthy and happy and fulfilled at school, outside of school. You go ahead and take care of yourself. You are worth it. There is nothing that is worth your mental or physical health. That has got to be number 1, because if you're not healthy, if you're miserable, if you're sad, and you're pushing yourself to the point of a burnout, you're not serving yourself, obviously, and you're certainly not serving your family or your students, right? So don't forget that. All right, let me see if I can stop sharing.